Welcome to Inside Gaming. I'm Brian. It's the Weekend Roundup. Real quick before we get started, I know we've had a crazy week here at Inside Gaming. Thanks to you guys for showing me a lot of love in the comments and on Twitter. Even the Rooster Teeth subreddit was nice. It means a lot. For the record, I'm not going anywhere. I like it here. Also, somebody's got to keep these kids in line, so they might as well have their mean old uncle here to do it. So I'm still going to be in the laptop. I'm still going to be here doing Weekend Roundup. Also, to be honest, the snack situation at the Rooster Teeth office is insane, and I'm not giving that up. All right, news. Google Stadia has had a bunch of issues since it launched last month. It didn't release with all the features they talked about. Sometimes the games have been more expensive than other places. It's been a whole deal. Oh, and latency was an issue, just like everyone was worried about. Show me the Washington Post gif. There it is. Well, now there's one more thing that they're screwing up. Some of the games on Stadia are really out of date. Case in point, Borderlands 3 launched this week on Stadia. That's great, but then Gearbox said it's a build from almost 2 months ago. On their blog, they wrote, "We aim to achieve feature parity for all versions of Borderlands 3 early in 2020, but for the moment, the version of the game that you play on Stadia has benefited from the updates and fixes that were released through October 24th. That means if you're on Stadia, you're gonna have to wait on in-game content like the takedown at the Maliwan Black site. Oh, and you're not gonna have the Mayhem 4 difficulty, extra bank space, better loot pools on bosses. But wait, I don't know why they're doing that. I thought everything on Stadia was updated on Google's side of things. Shouldn't this stuff have been added already? That was the whole thing. You won't have to download updates. Obviously, though, this was a developer decision. Gearbox didn't really give a reason why. I actually reached out to Gearbox to ask them what was up. Didn't hear back. Meanwhile, though, some actually good news. It's a little bit of good news, but it is good news for Stadia owners. Google said recently that Stadia can now be played on any Chromecast Ultra. Not just the one that was shipped with the Stadia controller, so now you can just use all your other Chromecast Ultras, I guess. The official Stadia account tweeted, "We have rolled out an update to existing Chromecast Ultras that allow them to work with Stadia. Grab your Stadia controller, sync it to any Chromecast Ultra, and start playing on an additional TV in your house." Google has said they will add more devices that will work with Stadia in the future. For now, though, as the year draws to a close, it has been a rough 2019 for Stadia. And yeah, it's not the first game service to launch and have a rough time, but we're a month in, still feels pretty half-baked. The Verge's Dieter Bohn has been putting in a lot of hours into Assassin's Creed Odyssey on Stadia and said that even under ideal conditions, it still isn't optimal. Bohn wrote, "I have what I think is probably the most ideal connection imaginable, Google Fiber in Oakland, 500 up and down with very low latency, and I still get weird internet lag jitters sometimes. Woof." And that's the thing, like, if they had released this as a beta, I think people would be a little more forgiving, but those Founders Editions weren't free, and as of right now, it just feels like Google hasn't given people their money's worth, so we will see. All right, moving on. Is a sequel to Jedi Fallen Order in the works? It sure sounds like it is. Games Radar noticed that Respawn's Star Wars team is hiring people for what they call a third-person action-adventure game. Some of the positions they're looking to fill include senior character artist, level designer, senior software engineer. The posting for senior character artist says the ideal candidate for this position has a strong grasp of organic subject matter and can nail realistic, high-quality models and textures for everything from compelling human faces to creatures, mechs, costumes, and gear. I can't do any of that. I was a communications major. That is way over my head. But it does sound like a strong possibility, especially since it said it was from the Star Wars team. Fallen Order has broken multiple sales records for EA, and Respawn brand strategy director Charlie Hauser has told Games Radar that they would be down to continue the story. So, seems pretty positive. Speaking of best-selling games, it looks like people love the new Modern Warfare. It is the best-selling game in the US as of this point, Activision said it set records for this generation when it comes to number of hours per player and overall hours played in the first 50 days. It also averages more daily players than any other Call of Duty game this generation. So the game came out October 25th. It has made a buttload of money too. It set a 3-day unit sales record for the franchise, biggest digital launch in Activision history. It racked up more than $600 million in revenue during its launch. It's now up to $1 billion in sell-through revenue. Those Call of Duty games are insane. They are just a license to print money. All right, now let's talk about something very near and dear to my heart, Dragon Quest. You know I'm gonna bring up Dragon Quest whenever I can. Square Enix announced that the most recent game in the franchise, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Elusive Age, has now sold 5.5 million copies worldwide. Yeah, we did it. We liked Dragon Quest in the West, finally.
Be honest, Brian, how much of that was you? How many copies of Dragon Quest have you purchased?
I bought 2. Yeah. So that big number includes the Japanese versions from 2017, as well as the PlayStation 4, Steam, and Switch versions that launched worldwide in 2018 and this year. Series creator Yuji Ori thanked the fans, both old schoolers like myself and newcomers. He also said, "If I could ever go back in time to meet myself when I was still making the very first Dragon Quest, I would love to tell him in 30 years' time, Dragon Quest XI Echoes of Elusive Age has been released and loved by international fans beyond seas and languages. I will carry on doing my very best to deliver further Dragon Quest titles to our fans worldwide." That's so cute. I love that guy. It's just, all right, it's great to see the series finally catch on in the West, and 11 was very good too. I started playing it back when it was called Dragon Warrior on the NES. Anyone else remember when Nintendo Power gave away free copies of it that one time? Just me, I'm very old. All right, now port Dragon Quest X to the West. Let's do it, guys. I will at least buy 3 copies. I don't know. All right. We like to talk about crazy lawsuits every now and then, and here is a humdinger. A Russian internet provider has sued Twitch for $3 billion because of pirate broadcasts of English Premier League soccer games. Damn. The Rambler Group alleges its exclusive broadcasting rights were breached by Twitch more than 36,000 times between August and November. I guess it was people showing like bootleg, like pirate broadcasts of soccer games. Twitch's lawyer told a Russian news site that it only provides users with access to the platform and is unable to change the content posted by users or track possible violations. She added that the company took all necessary measures to eliminate the violations, despite not receiving any official notification from Rambler. But Rambler, in addition to seeking all that money, that works out to 180 billion rubles, if you're wondering, Rambler also wants Twitch banned in Russia. Apparently it's huge in Russia. Good luck on that, guys. All right, time for a 5-second review. I actually backed this on Kickstarter back in the day. I don't think I got my money's worth. I'm a horrible person. All right, let's talk coming soon. First up, Clumsy Rush. It's a party game where you just tap out a beat and move your feet. Left foot, right foot, left foot, right foot. You gotta find your rhythm. You see that shiny yellow thing that looks like a crown? That's what you wanna get. Grab it, run to the finish line. You can't be the king of racing without a crown, am I right? Is your friend wearing the crown? Bump them, knock the crown off their head, scoop it up, and run. It's coming to the Switch December 23rd. Explore the magical mini golf madness of Crazy Zen Mini Golf as you adventure your way through a zany Zen garden. Channel your inner Zen in serene scenes, putt to perfection to complete all the holes in as few strokes as possible. Yep, that's what golf is. Whether you're playing individually or competing against friends, there's endless fun to be had and battle each other to beat the top score. You can collect coins, boost your chances of beating your opponent, and master the bouncing ball and jump to triumph. It's coming to the Switch December 23rd. Oniken is set in a post-apocalyptic future that is controlled by a sinister corporation. Aren't they all? You, the ninja mercenary Zaku, are the last hope for humanity. It's inspired by the gameplay of 8-bit action platformers. Oniken pits your agility and swordplay against a gauntlet of enemies, traps, and challenging bosses. It's got 8-bit inspired pixel art and music. It's got cinematic cutscenes and 6 very difficult mission and bonus stages. You'll battle 18, actually more than 18 bosses in the campaign. There's also a boss rush mode. It's coming to the Xbox One December 23rd. Regions of Ruin is a 2D side-scrolling town-building RPG where you are introduced to an open world that progressively challenges your hero the further you delve into the vast continent. You will discover a foreboding land that's ravaged by hundreds of years of hardship, where kingdoms have risen and fallen, settlements have been laid to waste and overrun by warring groups, and great mysteries lay hidden and waiting to be unearthed. It's coming to the Switch December 23rd. Xenoraptor is a frantic twin-stick shooter that pits ridiculously armed space dragons against an interstellar armada. Strip your defeated foes of their parts to assemble the ultimate weapon. From evasive teleporting and defensive mines to railguns, tractor beams, and mind control, Xenoraptor is bullet hell action with countless tactical possibilities. Arm your cyber dragon with various hulls and engines and weapons like lightning shotguns, laser nukes, ghost missiles, and more. Face the might of a space skeleton armada and defeat screen-filling bosses. Strategically turn environmental hazards against your enemies. Test your skills in the campaign, boss rush mode, and alongside friends and local co-op. It is coming to the Xbox One December 23rd and Switch on December 25th. Dronjen, Dungeons of Ink and Paper, is a unique hand-drawn RPG, if you couldn't tell from the title. Choose your class, warrior, magician, or rogue. Each has their own strengths and abilities. Loot and buy weapons, fight with various weapons, create and cast powerful spells. All the ingredients of a good role-playing game are here, but with a unique real-time combat based on grid movement like it's on a piece of paper. Get it? The hand-drawn graphics especially fit the dark and old-school heroic fantasy settings. Dronjen is an RPG adventure that can also be played in short sessions. It's got procedural generations of dungeons, caves, forests, and items that you'll find as you progress and develop your character. It's coming to the Switch December 24th. Inspired by obscure Japanese games from the 90s and late 80s, Tamashii is a unique puzzle platformer set in a distorted world of striking horror and unsettling imagery. I really like this description. An eldritch entity lurks inside a temple, a disturbing domain of death and danger. A mysterious stranger is summoned to this twisted hell to discover the source of evil that emanates from within. Can you survive the devilish traps, tricky puzzles, and monstrous beings looming in Tamashii's dark corridors? It's coming to the Switch December 25th. Perfect Christmas game. And finally, The Clocker is a puzzle game about, you guessed it, time. Would you have guessed that from a name like The Clocker? It stages a story between a father and daughter. It uses a dual protagonist technique. By controlling two individual characters, you will gradually solve puzzles and push the adventure forward. The game features unique time mechanisms, an artistic, hand-drawn, sketchy style, thought-provoking puzzles, and a heartwarming plot. It's coming to the Xbox One December 26th. That's all the news. Hope you guys have a great holiday season, whatever you celebrate, or if you don't celebrate anything at all, that's totally cool. Also, real quick, I know this can be a hard time of year for some people. It is for me sometimes. If you're one of those people, reach out, talk to somebody. You might not know it. You've got people out there who really care about you. We want you here. All right, I hope you guys have a great holiday season, and we will see you back here real soon. Bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside Gaming. Today's episode is brought to you by the letter S for Google Stadia, because we're also talking about streaming.
A lot of S words today, so it's no surprise that the launch of Google Stadia has been a rocky one. But despite this, some folks are still claiming that streaming is the future of games.
What? Streaming has one big rival besides just buying a console